Welcome back. This is Frostlevania. Thanks again for tuning in. This will be the second testing of our Wild Blood deck against the AI opponents. After the first trial run, I kind of felt like maybe our blood shards were a little lacking because I was unable to pull one even by turn 6 and 7. I'm going to go back into my deck and maybe move one or two of my wild shards over to the blood shards. I'm probably going to start with one only because I've got the Fist of Brigadon needing the 6th threshold, and if I don't pull a Chlorophylla or enough Howling Braves to give me the threshold I need, then I'll need all the wild shards I can get. So we're going to take one of those out, put a blood shard back in, still remaining at 60 cards here. We'll go ahead and save our deck. And go ahead and back into the home screen and say we're going to test this against the AI. Use our Wild Blood deck again. And challenge. Looks like our opponent is going to be Dimid again. And I hope to play against a different opponent. I'm on the play this time. And this is a very tempting hand to keep, only because we have a Life Siphon, and Argus will start counting down immediately, but we have no plays for the first 2 or 3 turns, so definitely mulligan the first time around at least. We have a Howling Brave now, but no wild shards. Go to 5. This one we'll keep. If nothing else, we'll get our 2 shards out and get our card draw here with the Sensei. So, it's a thin hand at best, but we don't have many options at this point in time. I really dislike going down to 4 cards. We'll play our wild shard and pass turn. We'll expect to see the Adamanthian Scrivener come out on turn 1 from Dimid. Comes the Diamond Threshold. There comes the Scrivener. Deja Vu. Our turn. A Blood Shard. Just fine, it's the least resources, but go ahead and play our Sensei so we can draw our card. Get a Battle Beetle. Not ideal right now. Second main phase, I'll go ahead and get 1 life opponent. Pass turn. I really dislike not having Howling Brave out there this early. This is a carbon copy of the game we just played, including putting the life drain on the wrong group. Even attacked with the Scrivener again. I would like to say this isn't a set in stone type script, but I can't say I would have played any different aside from not putting the life drain on the correct troop if I had those 2 cards in hand to start out. Alright, so if nothing else, we'll get the Wild Root Dancer out. Doesn't help us without any more resource shards. Honeycap doesn't help because we only have 1 threshold in the wild variety. So we're kind of behind here. So let's see how well our deck recovers. We have a Life Siphon in hand if things get too heavy. I hate using Life Siphon for anything less than 4. Even 4 is not great, but I'll use it for 4 in a pinch. Here comes the flight. Yep. In case you missed it, you can play video 1 and see how this exactly played out last time. And I'm going to block the Root Dancer again. I believe it was 1 turn later last time, if I recall. Not worried, as long as I keep getting shards, we're good. There's a shard. We'll get the Sensei, we'll pump him up while we can at least attack with him. I'm going to hold off on the honey cap, only because I don't want to put a 2-2 out there at this point in time. The 2-2 can be blocked. Then swing for 5. He drops a resource. I'm guessing he'll put the Swift Strike on Totem again, and then put the Life Drain Condemn it on him to get 2 back. Go ahead and use our charge power again. If nothing else, he'll be at 17 and I'll be at 17 as well. Which is a little bit better shape than we were last game, but our hand is in worse shape than we were last game. We do have the second Blood Threshold, which we were lacking all of last game, so it makes me think that maybe it wasn't such a bad idea to put the extra Blood Shard in. And here comes a swing for 2. We get 17 apiece. My only concern is not pulling a Chlorophyll, not pulling a Howling Brave. Makes our deck a little bit slower than I like it to be. Curse of Oblivion. I'm going to use it on Inner Conflict again, only because that would be a real pain at this point in time. Because I have the small creatures on the board, I have to get any damage in I can. I'm thinking about using Red on Righteous Paladin, only because he can become a beast really quickly. But at this point in time, I'm not afraid of pulling a Extinction out and wiping the whole board. 1, 2, 3. Like he's got an Inner Conflict in hand. Might go Righteous Paladin then instead. Take all 4 of them out. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Righteous Paladin out. I'll take my chances on the Inner Conflict. They're 12. Let's see what they play next turn. Yep, it's got the life drain on it now. But my 5 swing is not doing as much damage as I would like it to do, with him getting 2 back every time. Extinction. Not going to use it yet. That'll be a huge card later on if I can't get any of these other ones out. I'm almost forced now to go ahead and get Honeycap out there just to give me another troop, because he's got the life drain on now. And we'll go ahead and do that. And there's the bug that we're used to. The bug currently now that it goes ahead, expends the resources, doesn't put the card in play, and it goes ahead and moves on. So we'll go ahead and finish our turn. There will be a hang up during the sinking phase for probably a good solid 10-15 seconds, so you'll have to bear with me on that. We'll continue to race. Again, we have the life siphon in case things get a little hairy later on, and also that's also a win condition. Here comes the sinking. I don't think they've narrowed down why that happens, but allows me the opportunity to wet my palate for a moment. I guess my Honeycap will disappear from the game in a moment. A resource next turn for us would allow us to bump up the Sensei to 5. swing for 7, assuming he just goes ahead and buffs his totem again. We'll have 11 because of the life drain on the totem. And we can life siphon for the win. Assuming I pull a resource. And assuming he doesn't have someone to block. Now, that's a lot of assumptions going on. But I've got time to kill. There we go. It's the spell shield is that little symbol. Inner conflict. There's the one he had his hand. Puts it on the sensei. That creates a huge problem for us. Definitely going to slow this game down, and I'm half tempted, especially if I pull a resource, to go for the extinction. Only because now we're very behind. We can no longer attack with the sensei, and anything the Root Dancer puts on the sensei doesn't help us. There's a resource card. Let's go ahead and pump up the 5/5 we can't use. I'm going to wait one more turn. The only thing you can really put on there, you can start pumping up to make it larger. Yeah, I'm going to have to get it off the board because he can make it a 4/4 next turn. Which just makes an 8 health swing. Yeah, I can't afford to have that totem sitting out there. We'll go ahead and wipe the board. Spell Shield is target creature, so Extinction will wipe them off the board because it's all, or target troop. Because Extinction is all troops, not target. If we pull a resource next turn, we'll be on the offensive with the Battle Beetle. So, Chimera Guard Outrider. It's a 0/4. When it attacks, it becomes a 4/4. Or actually, it's equal to whatever the defense is. In this case, it is a 4/4. Quick Strider, a 2/2 with Swift Strike. Neither of those are really an issue, I think, at this point in time, if I can get my Battle Beetle out. If not, we're going to be in a world of hurt real quick. Here comes the Battle Beetle. Go ahead and get one of my life back. Because if you remember, the Battle Beetle has the Rage 1 gem in it, so it's going to be swinging for 6 next turn. If he lands a resource, he can get some of his health back, but he won't hit. Because neither one of them have flying at this point in time. And neither one of them will be large enough to outduel the Battle Beetle. So we're in good shape since we got that resource. We'd have been in real trouble if we couldn't get that shard to land. But life drain on the 2/2, which is odd. I'd have put it on the 4/4 unless he didn't attack with either. He's gonna hold in the block. Howling Brave. The problem is he can't block. And we have won the game. I'm going to put Flight on the Battle Beetle, which will make a 6/5 flyer once it attacks, and that'll leave us our Life Siphon with 3 resources available to end the game. Go and attack first in case he has any shenanigans. Go ahead and Life Siphon for the win. The only thing that can really hurt me here is if he has a Immortality in hand. I didn't see it in his deck. I don't recall seeing it in his deck. Yep, that'll end the game. So even when we were behind against this deck, it seemed to do fairly well. I didn't pull any Chlorophyllias. I pulled a Howling Brave there at the very end. I'll be really interested to see how it holds up against a human opponent. But right now, I'm kind of happy how the deck's playing out as far as the resource curve goes, and the amount of shards and the distribution on that goes. So tune in next time as I start testing this deck against human opponents. Thanks for joining in.